Bad news for Biden as a growing number of progressives are opting to vote uncommitted or no preference on primary ballots. Top Democratic donors call the trend a, quote, a siren and a clarion call, adding the energy behind uncommitted is not something that should be ignored, taken lightly, or dismissed. Here to react, former Democratic Congressman from Pennsylvania, Patrick Murphy. Patrick, great to have you on the show. Let's talk about uncommitted for just a moment. This represents a pretty far left wing of the Democratic base who is unhappy with Joe Biden over issues regarding Israel. I think the real question is, does that uncommitted vote stay that way through a general election? Or is it simply a protest vote one time in a primary? Can Biden coalesce and bring them back in before the choice is Biden-Trump?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on. I'm here at South by Southwest, where he went to law school here in Austin, Texas. So I do think, to your question, it is a protest vote, Will. People forget Barack Obama had double-digit percentage uncommitted vote when he was running for re-election. And some folks were upset because Barack Obama, at that time, tripled the amount of forces in Afghanistan to smoke out bin Laden and to bring him to justice. So much like today, yes, there are people who are doing a protest vote, but I do think they'll come back. And hopefully, well, I think we all, hopefully it'll be this bilateral ceasefire before the end of the weekend, because Ramadan starts this Monday, as we know.
So if you're right, and I think that's a very reasonable proposition, that it's simply a protest vote that won't vote the same way come a general election, I want to walk through two other potential landmine issues for Joe Biden. The second, Patrick, would be that there's a lot of apathy out there for Joe Biden. It's the passion, the enthusiasm is just different. Where Trump 2020 voters seem to be still passionate and attached and really ready and willing to go out and vote, Biden right now in most metrics shows such a lack of enthusiasm. What could happen is the votes stay the same, but Biden's just dropped down because of low turnout.
Yeah, these campaigns, one side will be like, why the other person should be fired, but you got to tell people why you should be hired. And I do think that he had a home run at the State of the Union, Will. People in the Democratic Party and some independents are really fired up that he gave a masterful performance. He told people what he was going to do. Even if they don't agree with all his policies, he was strong, he was in command. And I'll tell you, Will, I love you, buddy. I'm just being honest with you. I mean, the fact that he started out with Ukraine, Ronald Reagan, Will, is turning in his grave because we are at the 1 yard line. Russia has lost 100,000 troops in their illegal invasion. They're having a hard time recruiting folks. We got to make sure we unleash the arsenal of freedom here in America with our military might to help our allies.
I hear the argument on that issue. I hear what you're making, an issue-based argument, but I just think I think if I pushed you and got some, you're a little over your skis on home runs and masterful.
You're a UT graduate,
home
man.
run and masterful at the State of the Union. Patrick, come on. Real quick, I got to go. But the third thing I want to touch on, what affects him in general election, is RFK, is a third party. And in most polling, look, Trump, Biden, third party, Trump runs away with it.
Yeah, listen, I'm a Kennedy Democrat, but a Kennedy Democrat that supported Joe Biden, to be honest with you, Will. And, I don't think, I know he's an independent candidate. I don't think he has the horsepower behind him to run a national campaign. He's an interesting candidate, but, I don't think he's aligning himself with No Labels.
Right.
No Labels was supposed to have, obviously, a national convention in Dallas next month. That was canceled. That one is like a game of musical chairs, and No Labels has no chair to sit in anymore because Joe Manchin said no, Larry Hogan said no, Nikki Haley said no, and I think RFK Jr. said no as well.
Right. Yeah. All right. Enjoy Austin. Masterful performance this morning, Patrick, here on Fox.
Thanks, Will. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right. Have fun.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.